Hi, I'm Rick Hitzcoach, co-founder of Productive Learning and Leisure and creator of Quote Actions. In this segment of our LinkedIn Referral Success Program, I will continue covering the topic of questions and answers. As with all of our topic programs, we begin on our LinkedIn homepage. In the previous segment, I focused on the mechanics of asking and answering questions. So in this segment, I will cover various marketing strategies and tactics. So strategy number one for using questions. And remember, to start answering questions, click on the answer and then go to the questions page. What you'll do is you'll click on ask a question. And the strategy number one when it comes to questions is to position yourself and become the go-to person in your network. And what I mean by this is you want to build a reputation for being the person who people go to whenever they have a need for something or someone. So for example, about 3 months ago, somebody in my BNI network asked me for a contact to someone who was a children's book publisher. Well, I went to my LinkedIn network, I asked the question, I went to my Q&As, I will show them. I believe I have them here, and where are they? Here it is. I have a client that has a children's book that he's trying to get published. How should he go about getting started? I got 14 answers. I was able to pass on the answers to my colleague, and they were thrilled, and they passed it on to their colleague, and they were thrilled. So again, I actually solidified my reputation as being the go-to guy. Just today, I got another request from somebody for people who if I knew anybody who's a good furniture mover in San Diego. So I posed a question to my LinkedIn network, and what we'll do is if I get any answers, I'll be able to pass them to this other person, again solidifying my position as the go-to person. So strategy number one is using questions to become the go-to person in your network. As I mentioned in one of my earlier videos, to do that, the broader your reach on LinkedIn, the more chances you will have of accomplishing this. Okay, strategy number two is to promote a product, service, or event using questions. Now, the key here is to be subtle, right? You cannot do a blatant promotion here because if you do, it's going to backfire, and at best, you will get no answers. At worst, they can really start deleting your questions and have you start having a bad reputation. So you must be subtle. Here's a question that I asked today because we just released a brand new iPhone app for the Quote Action service that I have. So here's the question. The question is, what suggestions do you have for promoting a newly launched iPhone app? It says, I just released my first iPhone app and I'm wondering what is the best way to promote it without spending a lot of money. The application is called Quote Actions, and it consists of a motivational quote that is accompanied by an action that brings the quote to life. It is in the lifestyle category. We have a free version and a paid 99-cent version. So what I've done here is a little bit of a commercial. And I need to do that to help people give me an answer, but I'm also building my visibility. So who knows how many eyeballs will see something called Quote Actions, iPhone app, quotes, actions, and any one of them could be interested in possibly downloading or checking it out themselves. I'm also wondering how much impact the ratings and recommendations have on the apps. Part of my question is how much time and effort should I put into asking my existing networking contacts and clients to rate the app? Any help in this area would be welcome. So again, what I'm doing is by asking these questions, all right, I must ask somebody who answers this, hey, would you be willing to download my app, especially the free one, and give it a rating? So I am now promoting my product or service, but I am using the questions to do this. So that's strategy number two. I will reiterate, be subtle. Okay, number three, adding experts to your network. This is another great use of the questions feature, and I'm going to go back to probably 11 months ago when I last checked. I'm going to go to my questions, and see if I find it. I asked a question of someone who regarding lowering the spam score on my email messages. I have a product called Quote Actions, and it relies on delivering emails. So the person that, one of the people, I had 8 answers. One of the people that responded to this was an expert in this field. He works for a very large company as the IT director, and he is just, I mean, he spent like 9 hours of his own time working on my problem, fixed it, and in addition to fixing it, he is now part of my network, and he's helped me on at least 3 different occasions with 3 different people. This has to do with strategy number 1. So by locating and adding people to your network of experts. By the way, when people respond to you, and if you invite them to be part of your network, especially if they're experts, you now have gained their expertise, not only for yourself, but for your network. And the 4th strategy that I will cover with you is to strategically ask questions that allow you to identify potential prospects, referral partners, etc. And I'll go back to Quote Actions, and before I launched it, I asked how many people enjoyed motivational quotes and subscribed to a service that delivered the quotes. Well, I got a ton of respondents, and these were all people who were prime candidates for Quote Actions. They already received quotes, I already liked them, and I was able to identify a good number of prospects that I could then offer Quote Actions, again, by being elegant and subtle, but it was a very effective use of the questions. So those are 4 strategies for using questions. I'm sure there's more, but for now, I'm going to move into answers. Okay, and when you go answers, by the way, you click on answer questions. I mentioned in the previous segment there's many different categories. And if you go to your answers home, especially after you've answered a few questions, there's going to be recommended categories for you. So for me, given the answers that I've given, it's professional networking, internet marketing, using LinkedIn, business development, and public relations. So let's say I would click on internet marketing, and then what happens is the questions, any question, I can look at the questions and see if there's any one that I have an expertise on that I can answer. But again, the goal here is to gain expert status by having people identifying you or nominating you as an expert. See, I have number of best answers in this category of internet marketing. I have 1. So I got several answers that are best in a few categories. So that's raising my level of expertise. It is also raising my visibility. As I comment in these discussions, people notice you, and when people notice you, you're gaining your visibility. So your purpose is to gain visibility and credibility. Another thing you can do with answers is when you actually go to answers, you can actually suggest an expert. And so if you have experts in your network, you can actually promote them by suggesting an expert for that particular category. Okay, and you write down something about the expert, and you write a note to the person why you consider them to be expert. So one of your goals strategically would be to have others recommend you as an expert to raise your visibility. So that's the first strategy for using answers. Okay, other things that you can use the answers feature for is to see who are the other experts in the categories that you are serving and connect to them. Remember, this will serve the strategy number 1 of becoming the go-to person in your network. So when you have some other people in questions, and for that you would have to follow the questions that oftentimes have a lot of answers to them, and then what you do is there's a lot of people who, like this person for instance, Frank Feather, has best answers using LinkedIn, 182 of them. This is definitely a person that's an expert, and you probably could invite him and add him to your network, which again would make you a lot more valuable to the rest of the people in your network. So there you have it, a few strategies involving answers that will help you raise your visibility and your credibility, which will lead to your profitability. That's it for this segment. If you have any questions, you can send them via LinkedIn or send me an email at rick@productivelearning.com. Enjoy an extraordinary day.